Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? Force here from Force Strategy Gaming, and it is finally time for some more commentary. It's been quite a while. It's been about 3 or 4 days since the last commentary, so I'll be happy to bring to you a TVT. And in case you were wondering, I was gone looking at Diablo 3, so that's exciting. But less about that, more about this game. We have got PuMa here as our Blue Terran player in the bottom right position of Shakur's Plateau, and here in the bottom left, we do have TSL's Clide as our Red Terran player. So yes, Clide versus PuMa TVT here on Shakur's Plateau. And as prior mentioned, I was at the Diablo 3 beta, I was at the Blizzard headquarters testing out and looking at the Diablo 3 beta. It was for the Blizzard Media Press event for Diablo 3. It was really exciting. Lots of really big news. If you're looking forward to Diablo 3, stay tuned on this coming Monday. That's when the NDA is going to be lifted, and at that point, there will be a crap ton of videos. I've got a lot of content coming out, lots of exciting news in the Diablo 3 front. But let's take a look at this game. You may be asking, why have I decided to cast a TVT as my returning game? No particular reason. In fact, I did just see this game on the particular replay site that I take a look at, and it had a high rating, lots of downloads, so I'm assuming it's a good game, and we will just have to wait and see. We can see right now Clide is moving out to scout, and it looks like he will be moving right into PuMa's base right off of the bat. Now, we do, of course, want to keep a close eye on both players. Taking a look already, PuMa, very, very fast gas, as opposed to Clide, no gas quite as of yet. In fact, he may even be completely avoiding the gas and going for a quick expansion. And look at this, oh boy, early 2 racks pressure here from TSL's Clide. Now, especially given the fact that PuMa did go for that very fast refinery, we are likely to see him be able to get that factory as soon as this barracks finishes. Teching up is going to put him in a little bit of a tight spot. Now, again, we will be seeing at the very least 2 racks pressure here from Clide, likely just marine bunker pressure into an expansion. This is something you see very often against Zerg players, but man, in TVT, that's definitely an interesting play. And as mentioned, it can be pretty solid, specifically given the fact that PuMa is deciding to tech up. We should be seeing that factory placed sometime soon, and there we go, factory there in the left-hand corner of his base. He is, of course, trying to hide it. Now, with this said, PuMa, in having to deal with this early pressure, he will likely need a bunker. It's almost guaranteed that he's going to need a bunker to be able to actually fully fend off the pure amount of Marines that will be pushing out. Now, still, Clide hasn't actually scouted out the base, but he will be first moving to check up into this position. As we can see, he is in fact not there. His opponent is not there and is in this position. Now, we've got 1 Marine coming out, spotting that SCV, and given the fact that it came at an odd angle, this should tip PuMa off if he was paying attention to the fact that something is funny. If something funny is going on, the SCV wouldn't have normally come it this way. He would have been going straight down if he was just scouting. And there we go, scouting it out. So right now, already PuMa is aware of this 2 racks pressure early on that will be coming here from TSL's Clide. Clide should be pushing in with at least 1 SCV. There we go. And moving on up. And as expected, PuMa is trying to come out the bunker. Now those Marines will want to target fire down that SCV if at all possible. Marines trying to do what they can here. A couple more SCVs coming down. They will be used to repair and also go back into building that bunker as soon as one of them gets start fire down. And there we go, losing 1 Marine. Second Marine, very low health. We have got a Hellion coming out, and that's going to do a lot of damage here to these Marines. Clide is forced to push back. The bunker completes, and there you go. Just like that, PuMa successfully defends himself without taking too many losses here. We can see right now, Clide is ahead at the moment, only 100 resources though, and I don't know how much longer that's going to last. Now we can see right now, trying to move across the map with this Hellion. 1 Hellion though won't do that great, especially if there are enough Marines, and you just make sure he doesn't get lined up. We can see right now PuMa will be hiding in the corner with that Hellion. Looks like those Marines will be spotting that out though, getting a few more shots off in the Hellion, trying to push forward, doing what he can. I don't think he's going to be able to do much at all other than scout. We've got these barracks lifting up, and this solely is for scouting right now. So Clide does want to know precisely what PuMa is going for. Using a couple Marines, he will try to take that out, although I don't think he has enough. And there we go, the Banshee, that switch right there into Banshee play. And how will Clide be able to deal with that? He does need an engineering bay. He should be scouting this out if he keeps going with that barracks. It doesn't look like he's going to lose it, although it might get into the red, and actually I believe it could very well. So if that is the case, it will start burning, and at that point, TSL's Clide will be in trouble. So let's see if those Marines manage to get down. He has scouted this out, so let's see that engineering bay, and there we go. Engineering bay is coming out right now for TSL's Clide, so he should be able to get that out in time, and as such be able to get up a couple missile turrets. So as we can see, actually not even bothering trying to get out that cloak research, just opening up with that 1 Banshee. Now we can see right now the burning barracks, that actually might get dropped unless we see a mule dropped here from TSL's Clide. Here comes that Banshee, and already killing off 1 Marine and getting a second there as well. And the one thing to note as well is that The Banshee does have that range advantage over the Marines, so with some proper micro, he should do a good job. But there we go, bunching up his Marines, keeping the low ones in the back, just trying to make sure he can do enough damage to that Banshee, and there we go. PuMa losing the Banshee, and it looks like an SCV did move out and was able to repair that barracks, so luckily for Clide, managing to save that right there. Now let's see what PuMa is transitioning into. We can see that command center coming out. Looks like it's going to be Infernal Predator Hellion. The Blue Flame Hellions will be coming out, salvaging that bunker, and then we'll be moving out into his expansion. Now back over here, we do already see that Orbital Command is up for TSL's Clide, so he could move into his expansion at any point now. We do have that starport coming out. There's a tech lab on that factory as well. Not a whole lot though, just a bunch of Marines kind of dancing around. He is coming out with one missile turret just in case those Cloak Banshees do come into play, although as we know, Cloak Banshees will not be happening. We will in fact be seeing a Blue Flame Hellion drop. We've got a couple Marines moving across the map, trying to just get some map control, grab control of those Zelnaga towers, and deny any scouting that TSL's Clide could do. But as we can see, again, moving that Rax, deciding not to use it for production aside from that early game push, and he will just be continuously using this for some scouting information. So moving right on up, he will be scouting out that factory, but he doesn't know if it's Blue Flame Hellions or tanks, and that's really the important thing to note. Likely, you know, tank play, of course, very, very common, but TVT, this very, very heavy type of harass, can be very effective. And there we go, some Blue Flame Hellions right in the resource line, caught it just in the nick of time, and it looks like so did Clide. We'll be moving on down, but those Blue Flame Hellions have got a great opportunity. We are seeing some nice split of those workers, though, trying to keep as many alive as possible. He doesn't want to bunch those up. We still have that medevac chilling out over here, so hopefully that heads back home. Doesn't look like Clide ended up losing too much there, and yes, actually they are dead even right now in terms of resources lost. Now we've got this expansion up and starting to get saturated. PuMa just moving into his right now, doesn't have any saturation going out. There we go, transferring actually some workers over, getting a couple more refineries here as well. A couple of Marines will be moving out, possibly to do some scouting, see if they can catch any sort of SCV scouts or anything that may be moving around for TSL's Clide, and PuMa also moving back into his main base right there with that medevac. There we go, and lifting up actually a few more Blue Flame Hellions, so we'll be continuing up this pressure. We can see though TSL Clide should be prepared for that. Some nice placement here of units. We also have that turret, although that won't help him obviously against those Blue Flame Hellions. So what do we have for upgrades coming here? Stim pack coming on through in terms of upgrades for that army. We've got the level 1 upgrade coming out for Clide. That's not out quite yet though. Here comes that medevac, and does that get sniped out? The Hellions drop down very quickly, and look how much damage they do. One on the low ground though, and that tank isn't very nice for those Hellions, so forced to lift off, but very nice. He did some damage and didn't lose a single Hellion. He may have to repair the one in the red and possibly that one in the orange as well. But still doing a bit of damage. He killed off at least a Marine or two. And actually, you know, Viking coming across the map will be trying to snipe out the medevac. Does the medevac get within range of some anti-air before he loses? There we go, dropping some of those Marines, and oh boy, look at that. We'll be sniping that resource line, trying to do a bit of damage. He didn't use stim pack. There we go, finally stim pack being used. It may have not been finished research, or he may have just not realized that he hadn't used it yet. We do have PuMa moving out, checking for a third base over here for Clide. As we can see, Clide has not moved into his third. Doesn't have one building in his main at the moment either. Looks like there was another drop that went over, and that was likely those Blue Flame Hellions that did get taken care of. It looks like he possibly did do quite a bit of damage there. Sorry for missing that particular drop. At the moment, we can see slightly ahead is PuMa. So TSL's Clide falling slowly behind, and just some very nice play with these Marine tanks from TSL Clide, and I've really been liking the drop harass that's been going on from PuMa here as well. Now we do have a couple more Blue Flame Hellions, and we'll be moving straight up, and all he's really trying to do here is thin up this Marine count. Now actually we'll be working straight into the resource line, but as you can see, lost a lot. Didn't end up doing too much damage and lost all of those Hellions just because those Marines and that tank was out there at the front. That tank DPS is nuts, unsieged, and really does quite a number on those Hellions. Obviously though, the Hellions much faster, so they can try to circumvent those tanks, but it doesn't really always work out that way. PuMa will be moving across the map right now with these two Hellions, possibly getting ready to move in at a later date and try that again that we just did see him do. Try to go for a little bit more econ harass. Now we do have a very nice placement here of the sensor tower. Also, we've got a Viking on patrol just in case we try to see any attempted medevac drops. A couple more Vikings coming into play. Looks like that transition into bio and tank heavy with some Viking play is taking place for both players. Now we do right now have Clide moving across the center of the map. Very heavy force, lots of Marines, couple of tanks mixed in here as well. And there we go, sieging the opportunity. We'll be moving into the resource line, and this is not good for TSL's Clide, responding a little bit late there. Took a bit of damage. SCV's trying to push out right now. We've got a barrack scout. Nice siege line over here for Clide, but Clide take a little bit of damage, and at the same time, the Hellions still moving into the main base and will be trying to work on those SCVs. We're seeing some very nice micro, though, from Clide, trying to keep those SCVs out of danger as much as possible. Sacrificial medevac getting sniped down very quickly by those Vikings. Couple Marines trying to push forward there as well. Looks like we will be having some more Blue Flame Hellion harass coming out here from PuMa. So PuMa really loving this Hellion harass, and really the only harass besides that early game Marine aggression that we have seen here from Clide was that Marine drop, and that didn't turn out to be all that effective, especially since he lost about half of his Marines before he activated Stim Pack on them, and as such, you know, was in a heap load of trouble. Also, of course, that Viking that was able to snipe out his medevac, that certainly didn't help as well. So let's see if we can see any additional aggression here from Clide. That would certainly be wonderful. We do have that medevac. We'll be moving around that sensor tower, trying to drop here on the natural, seeing how much damage he can do with that. And at the same time, big push again coming across the map. We can see some reinforcement units, lots of Marines here, a tank there as well. Medevac joining the mix. Very heavy siege line here from PuMa. Pretty nuts. There is a scan just went down there for Clide, realizing that's a heavy force, possibly deciding not to move and engage that quite yet. And here we go. The Blue Flame Hellions couple moving right into the resource line, trying to do a bit of damage. And again, this harass doing a great job here for PuMa. He's just doing so much and losing almost all of those SCVs at the natural expansion. That is going to hurt quite a bit. We do have an attempted drop here. That didn't work out too well. Trying to force some splash damage on his own tanks. And there we go, Marines and tanks pushing into the siege line. But PuMa's siege line so strong, forcing the GG there from Clide. Clide opened up with a proxy racks for some early Marine aggression. However, moving out with his first Marine, PuMa was able to scout that SCV moving at an odd angle. That tipped him off after killing the SCV that there may be something funky going on. As such, moving down with his Marine, he was able to scout this out. Now, upon scouting that, he obviously immediately dropped that bunker, and he was pretty much all set. Didn't really take too much damage from this initial pressure from Clide. Fending off Clide's early Marine aggression, we did see PuMa move into some Blue Flame Hellions. We're going to see his first drop take place right here, and this is something that Clide certainly wasn't prepared for, although the second those Hellions move in, Clide, being the professional that he is, was able to pull away just in the nick of time, walk down with some of these Marines and that tank, and with some nice spread, didn't end up losing too much. However, PuMa really kept up this harass the entire game, and it proved to be quite an issue for Clide. A few minutes after his first drop, PuMa moved out with a second, and with this he was actually able to kill off a few Marines without losing a single Hellion, and these are the kind of small victories that you definitely want in StarCraft and help to win you the game. Clide attempted to move out with some counter drop harass, however that was scouted by PuMa's Viking, and dropping down these Marines and not stimming them initially certainly didn't help. We can see that stim coming a little bit late. He killed off a few SCVs, but not quite as many as he may have. Around 13 minutes, Clide moved to the center of the map to try to get a little bit of map control, but at the same time, PuMa moved into his natural expansion with those Blue Flame Hellions again and was able to do quite a bit of damage. Our final engagement came at the 16-minute mark. Clide tried to soften up the tank line by dropping Marines and forcing splash damage. However, he just did not have enough of a force to walk into this heavy siege on PuMa, and it was really the Blue Flame Hellion drop and harass from PuMa that proved to be the demise of Clide. Alright, so that does it for this commentary. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. I am back in the swing of things right now. Sorry for those few days without videos. Again, I was at Blizzard for the Diablo 3 press event. Lots of exciting videos coming out this upcoming Monday. Also, starting Monday, we'll be back to a normal schedule, producing a lot of videos every day of the week. So look forward to that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, keep watching, and keep owning.